Floyd! Floyd! I'll knock you out! He's sick, look at him.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Pacquiao camp. Mayweather fight is not an exhibition, and it's still on, contrary to a report from Fight Hype that has always had close ties to Floyd Mayweather and what they said, that the fight is cancelled. Not according to Team Pacquiao. The September 19th rematch between boxing legends Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao is still on despite Mayweather's apparent breach of contract following his recent comments about the planned showdown in Las Vegas during a meet and greet at Caesars Palace this past Saturday. Mayweather told Vegas Sports Today, "We don't know the location of the fight. The Sphere is one of the places that they talked about, so we don't know if it's 100% going to be there. And this is not actually a fight. It's an exhibition." Jas Mathur, CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions and a producer for the event, objected to Mayweather's comments, telling ESPN on Wednesday that the undefeated fighter's statements run afoul of their agreement.
Really don't think Floyd can afford another lawsuit.
As of right now, the fight is still on. There is no termination of any sort, and he is signed for a professional fight, Mathur said. Floyd Mayweather is officially in breach of his contract. He's been in breach since the day he went out and said what he said on Saturday, and he's officially in a breach as of yesterday. Mathur told ESPN that he's been in discussions with Mayweather's team since the boxer's comments on Saturday, with the team Mayweather insisting on the fight being changed from a sanctioned professional bout to an exhibition, which is one of several breaches of the contract.
So is it possible that Jas Mathur is telling the truth? And if he is, why would Floyd Mayweather, all of a sudden, having signed for a professional fight, want it changed?
I think when he signed it out of desperation due to the mounting debts he's drowning under and all the money that was stolen from him. He was in a hurry to get at whatever cash he could, so he hurried up and signed on, but regretted it afterwards.
Now he thinks he can leverage his participation against their cooperation with his new demands.
Essentially holding the event to ransom, Mathur suggested that Mayweather was also aware of a recent site visit to the Sphere that included 40 representatives, Manny Pacquiao Promotions, Mayweather Promotions, and Netflix, along with producers, Hidden Empires, Everwonder Studios, and Limitless X Holdings. Mayweather's proposed June exhibition with Greek kickboxer Mike Zambidis is also in direct breach of his agreement to face Pacquiao, according to Mathur, who added that there is a cure period where Mayweather can rectify the violation after receiving written notice of the breach.
Why would the Mike Zambidis exhibition constitute a breach?
Could be because if he suffers any cuts, bumps, or scrapes in that exhibition, it jeopardizes the Pacquiao fight, which is worth a lot more money. Money that Jas Mathur stated Floyd Mayweather has already taken out in advance on.
Fucking guy's broke, man.
Floyd Mayweather signed not one, not two, but 3 different agreements on 3 different dates with 2 different parties that ultimately got intertwined in the month of January, Mathur said. And this is all related to his return to professional boxing. First one was on October 24th.
It's very difficult to argue with a man who can produce names and dates like Jas Mathur.
The second one was on November 6th. The third one was on December 14th. He received money for all 3 agreements when he signed them. Not only that, but he's also taken out an advance on his purse for his fight against Pacquiao.
Borrowing against your own fight purse for the proposed fight in September means it's signed and sealed. The deal is done. You accepted the terms, so you cannot now change them, if what Jas Mathur is saying is true.
If money has already changed hands.
Mayweather vs. Pacquiao 2 was announced in February as a professional boxing match, just days after Mayweather stated he would be coming out of retirement in an event set for the Sphere and to be streamed globally on Netflix. The fight was set to be what Mathur called the first ever sports and entertainment event in boxing. Would be a spectacle and leverage the technology of the $2.3 billion entertainment venue. No one in these last 3 months has brought up anything related to the venue or related to the fight not being a professional fight, Mathur said. His team has had all the contracts. He signed all the contracts. We have the DocuSign proofs, as well as wet signatures with his device ID, with his IP address, with everything there. Ultimately, there will now be a standoff, as Mathur said Manny Pacquiao will not budge on changing the fight to an exhibition, as he has been steadfast in avenging his 2015 loss to Mayweather.
If he's scared of Manny and he does not want to put his record on the line in a professional boxing match, not only should he have never executed any of these agreements, but he should have just come right out and said it, because Manny ain't scared, Mathur said. We put this together to put on something that the fans would love and would be a massive sporting event. We wanted to do something that makes history, and he wants to come around and try to change terms at the last minute, because he thinks he can. No, he can't. Not happening.
Sounds believable, you know, that Floyd Mayweather might think he still has the leverage that he used to over a decade ago, when he was the face of boxing and the top-earning boxer in the sport.
He still thinks he's got the upper hand in any situation like he used to. I don't think he does.
Not if any of this rings true, and money has already changed hands because you already agreed to a professional boxing match. At this stage, can he really afford another lawsuit? Because it might not just be Manny suing him, it could be Netflix. It's their event. You took cash. That was their money.
There's a lot of fingers in this pie. And all it communicates is apprehensiveness. All it communicates is fear, because Manny's not that far off from Floyd Mayweather's age.
They're both old guys, but Manny's not worried about it being a professional boxing match counting towards his record. So why are you? Is it that you started camp, going through the motions, you realized you just ain't got it anymore? You don't really want to do this.
Floyd Mayweather's unbeaten record is perhaps the biggest part of his legacy. More than any singular belt or belts that he won, his career seems to have been all about his unbeaten record. Though at close to 50 years old, can he stay unbeaten?
You know that Manny's been fighting. He's been fighting professionally, whereas Floyd's been playing dancing bear for a good number of years now. To go back into the fire
when he don't have that fire in the belly,
could lose, and maybe that's what boxing needs, because for the longest time now, Floyd Mayweather has been held up as the standard for what young boxers should aspire to. That if he's now lost all of his money and he loses his unbeaten record, he comes full circle.
The pedestal is kicked from under him, and he will no longer elicit the same respect that he used to. He won't be what the young boxers aspire to. I don't think that boxing has been better off for it. All of these Mayweather clones that have sprouted from the ground in his absence. Careful negotiation tactics with a very careful base style that fails to entertain a crowd.
His influence over a younger generation of boxers that have sprouted from the ground behind him is palpable, that perhaps it would be better for boxing if they idolized somebody else. Reports indicate that he's got a Thursday deadline to rectify the breach.
He doesn't have a lot of time.
I'm gonna play stupid games with these people. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Floyd.
Speaking of stupid games and stupid prizes, Xander Zayas recently talked about the collapse of what was supposed to be his fight with Vergil Ortiz and the collapse of Boots' fight with Vergil Ortiz.
With Vergil, well, I guess that happened every time there was a conversation of a big fight with him. He always wanted it too much of his way and never wanted to be, He didn't want to play the game. He didn't want to play the game. He only wanted to play his game, and that's why he never got a big fight. It was super easy. I feel like not just me, but the whole team, everybody behind the scenes.
It's a very bad optics for Vergil Ortiz. Upon the fight's announcement, the first thing I said was, Xander's really upstaging Vergil. He's making him look bad. How easily they were able to make this Boots fight, Xander being so many years younger than Vergil,
shows he is seriously committed to the big fights, where Vergil and Rick, they're just a lot of talk. That's all you're gonna get out of those guys.
That's what Vergil Ortiz resorted to doing, trying to talk us to death by saying, I wanted everything my way. He publicly declined a 50-50 offer in neutral territory and said it was not a real offer, and never negotiated back.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Did negotiate back. He counter-offered. He said he wanted to fight in Puerto Rico, at which point you guys decided to fight Lubin.
Vergil continued. He said he claims to have wanted the fight and did everything he could to make the fight happen, and yet we never heard a peep about it.
Oh, you didn't hear a peep? Because we did. We heard Xander say loud and clear he wants it in Puerto Rico. You guys didn't respond. You just made the Lubin fight and moved on.
Twitter user who goes by the name Mr. Charisma, reacting to Vergil's comment, said, the more I look at it, the more sad it becomes that Vergil, unironically, is proving Xander right and doesn't see it. Fire Rick Merrigan, man! Longtime Pornhub user and friend to the channel, Isan with the Nissan, said, you're asking for 50-50 is already nonsense enough, and we'll figure out the rest later is comedy. Bro, just fight Josh Kelly or something. You're overdue for a strap. Karma is a motherfucker.
Isan's comments allow us to revisit my initial perspective on that 50-50 offer that I don't even think was real.
Xander Zayas had just become WBO junior middleweight champion. He would have been the champion going in. Vergil was not on stable enough footing to think he's supposed to get half of a fight with him. And he claims that the fight would have taken place at a neutral location I would not call the West Coast, where there is a large Chicano contingent at all neutral.
That's where they wanted to do it.
You wanted to dictate to Xander how much money he's gonna make and where the fight is taking place, even though he's the one with the belt and you's a guy that needs one.
Another bright idea brought to you by Rick Merrigan.
That offer was either Vergil Ortiz overplaying his hand, thinking he's got more say-so than he actually does, more leverage, or it was a faux offer, a publicity stunt, intended to make it look like Xander didn't want the fight.
Give him a shit offer. That way, if he turns it down, you can make it look like he ducked you. That's what I think the play was.
What they didn't anticipate is that Xander would continue the dialogue, and he told them he wants the fight in Puerto Rico, and they didn't respond. They didn't get back to him. They made another fight with another guy.
All the while, he got another belt. Another belt! Two!
He's got 2 world titles now, to your none, on the eve of the biggest fight of his career, a bigger fight than any fight that you've had so far, with a fighter that you were supposed to be fighting, if not for the people on your side mucking everything up. The boxing community at large is not comprised of lawyers and attorneys, paralegals. They don't want to have to read through legalese every time they broach the subject of Vergil Ortiz.
Talking about the boxing fans.
Every time you talk about Vergil now, you're talking about a fight that didn't happen for whatever reason because of what was in the contract and what he doesn't agree with, and Oscar says this, but Rick says that.
Oh my fucking God.
Listen, buddy, you've been in the junior middleweight division for over 2 years now. You're actually older than Xander. You're close to 30.
You can't hide behind decisions that Rick Merrigan might make or your father might make because you're not a little boy.
To where you just fall in line with whatever decisions they decide or they make. Xander's younger than you, and he's taken charge of his career. He's made it very obvious that he wants the big fights. You can't convince us of otherwise when they made the Boots fight, the one you was supposed to have. No fuss, no muss, it's done.
It's never like that with you.
Maybe that's a big part of the reason Vergil hasn't had a big fight yet, even though he's coming up on 30. He's not far off. I remember when then WBO president Paco Vergil exposed that they offered Vergil Ortiz a Terrence Crawford fight not once but twice, and both times his side turned it down.
Paco ain't got no reason to be lying about shit like that.
It's one big fight you didn't have. The other is the Xander Zayas fight, whether it was a shit offer or a faux offer. Either way, it's not a fight you ended up having.
That's 2.
What's 3? The Boots debacle. The Boots fight that you're now not having, that he is having. Rick Merrigan needs to go back to Oscar De La Hoya on his hands and knees, kiss his ass, and lick his ass to get Vergil a date, get Vergil a fight. Enough with the social media stuff.
I mean, I don't know, because also his promoter is saying, or his manager is saying that they're not fighting outside of PBC. So how can you negotiate that? How can you go into a negotiation knowing that this guy doesn't want to fight anybody but the elderly staff they have at PBC?
Elderly is right. Are we supposed to ooh and ah that you knocked out an active Keith Thurman who's in his late 30s?
Who hasn't been a relevant welterweight in some years now, much less a relevant junior middle. He didn't do much of anything up there either.
Sebastian Fundora. Yet another guy who seems to be overplaying his hand. He thinks that he can funnel everybody to him. You don't got that kind of drawing power, my friend, or that kind of money behind you. There were 2 fights on last Saturday. The Tyler Denny fight and Sebastian's fight, and I could have swore that I saw more people at Tyler Denny's fight than Sebastian's.
Well, Sebastian did say that he doesn't care about the belts or the sanctioning bodies. Too many politics. He doesn't care about Undisputed.
We can tell. He said that he's happy just holding his WBC title. The thing is, Vergil Ortiz is the WBC's interim champion. He has been for close to 2 years now. He won the interim title in the summer of 2024.
Now you're telling me that 2025 came and went without the World Boxing Council ordering Sebastian to fight Vergil.
No, not even. What I'm telling you is you shouldn't have had to wait till 2025 for them to order that fight, because there was enough time remaining in 2024 that it should have happened then. Sebastian becomes WBC champion in the spring of 2024. Vergil wins the interim in the summer. That there was plenty of time in the fall and winter months for the World Boxing Council to order the fight between them.
And they didn't. Fucking useless.
To make matters worse, from the moment that Vergil won that interim title close to 2 years ago, did you see him put any kind of pressure on Sebastian for a fight?
What the fuck are you fighting Erickson Lubin for?
What the fuck was that supposed to do? From the time he wins that interim title, what did he use it for? See, the appropriate response to Xander Zayas' comments and the official announcement of Zayas versus Boots would be making Fundora versus Ortiz.
That's how you respond. That's what you do. The issue is, Sebastian wants to feast on old guys at the PBC.
The issue is, Vergil lets everybody else make the decisions when it comes to his career. The issue is, Sebastian Fundora and Vergil Ortiz jointly will waste a lot of your time if you let them.
Well, Josh Kelly's free. I mean, Josh Kelly doesn't have a fight. He's the IBF champion. Why doesn't
Go after that guy.
Vergil go after him?
It's the 10-pound rehydration cap via the IBF. Vergil's not going to go after that guy because he can't blow up the day of the fight like he can with other sanctioning bodies.
Jesus fucking Christ, it's always something.
I know. And the boxing fans are not here to bicker amongst themselves about the legalese in a contract or the bylaws of a sanctioning body. More than anything, they're here to see fights. Fights that Sebastian is not delivering them, Vergil is not delivering them. But if what you're looking for is the appropriate response to Zayas versus Ennis,
Ideally, that would be Fundora versus Ortiz.
instead of taking us on a stroll down memory lane to the he said, she said from a few months ago that we're all tired of, by the way. Vergil, why don't you pressure Rick to make amends with Oscar, then push the WBC to order the fight between you and Sebastian? Skip the arbitration, get back to work, get back to business, stop trying to be a business guy, and go back to being a boxer.
What do you want?
You were in the welterweight division for something like a quintillion years and never fought for a real title there. Now you've been at junior middle for 2 going on 3 years.
You not gonna fight for a title there?
Sebastian's another one who's too fucking old to let other people do all the talking for him, all of the decision making. You're still playing sides of the street politics in 2026?
It's gotta be at the PBC.
It's gotta be on your side of the street. There's nobody on your side of the street. There's no money. There are no fight dates. They can stick you on pay-per-view as much as they like. I know those pay-per-views aren't selling. They act like just the act of being on pay-per-view makes you a star. You're not a star unless you can draw. Draw people to the fight, draw pay-per-views.
Big gate receipts, big pay-per-view buys, then you're a star. None of which Sebastian has garnered so far. And if he keeps this up, he's never going to.
I mean, what the fuck did you expect to happen after pouncing on an aging Keith Thurman?
What was that supposed to prove, huh?
Like I said, these two guys, they will waste your time if you let them.